One of the requirements for locating the Navy's model basin in Carter Rock was the availability of nearby suitable housing for the employees. At the time, the existing communities of Cabin John and Glen Echo could not accommodate the anticipated workers, so the federal government looked for a place to construct more housing. What they settled on was some land south of the basin, which was once the site of a turn-of-the-century summer resort. The Cabin John Bridge Hotel began as a lunchroom near the bridge of the same name. It evolved into an elegant getaway spot, catering to Washington's elite. In its heyday between 1895 and 1907, travelers flocked here to enjoy good food, elegant furnishings, and to walk among the beautiful gardens. Sadly, the hotel burned down in 1931. For 9 years, it sat vacant until the federal government purchased it to build Cabin John Gardens. 100 homes were built on this 20-acre tract. Because of the connection with the model basin, the streets were all named after engineers. There is Webb, McKay, Russell, Erickson, and Froude. Each home looked much like this one from the outside. Inside, there was a small kitchen, living room, a bathroom, and a choice of 2 or 3 bedrooms. In addition, a community house offered meeting and workshop space. It was thought that these would be temporary residences. As it turned out, they were anything but. Pat Stevens still lives in the home that she and her husband first occupied in 1941.
In the beginning, we lived in Washington and with my sister-in-law. And my husband got a job at the model basin, and it was quite a commute every day from way over on C Street. And he heard about the government opening these houses for workers. And so we decided to move out here, and it was the best move we ever made.
Back then, only veterans and employees of David Taylor Model Basin could rent a home here. Thelma Marshall moved into this house in 1952 after her husband returned from the Korean War.
It was really wonderful. There was a lot of young people in here, of course, raising their children. And back then we had a lot of activities going on for the children. It's always been a safe place. For years, we never even had a door key, never locked our doors.
In 1955, the federal government decided to give up the property. Reportedly, efforts to sell individually to the residents were blocked by the county council. But the people of Cabin John Gardens were not deterred. They formed a cooperative to purchase the property as a group. In 1957, they paid $400,000 for the entire 20 acres, houses and all. They have operated as a co-op ever since, which has its advantages.
I think perhaps it made us a little closer, although we were very close before we were a co-op. But after we became a co-op, we had to work together to hold things together.
Megan Carter has lived here since 1993 and is currently on the board.
The way the co-op works is that we have a paid manager and we have an elected board of directors who are volunteer, elected by the membership. The board of directors meets twice a month. The general membership meets at least quarterly. And new members, before they buy in here, meet with the board for approval. So we really do know our neighbors.
Cabin John Gardens is probably the only cooperatively owned single-family neighborhood in Montgomery County. But that's not what makes it special. It's a place where everyone knows your name, and some families choose to remain. Patrick, Zach, and Justin Cable are the 4th generation to live in Cabin John Gardens. Their father, Don, was born here. In fact, with 5 households of Cables, much of their extended family still lives here.
Whenever I have a friend over or something, when we go riding bikes or just doing, walking, I go, oh, there's my great-grandpa's house, and there's my cousin's house, and there's my friend's house, but they moved out, and now part of my family lives in there.
A stroll down one of the streets in Cabin John Gardens is both a step back in time and a look forward to the future. Some of the houses are throwbacks to the 40s. Others have been expanded and updated. But in all cases, this is a neighborhood where community is the real draw.
A lot of the people here have been neighbors for 40 or 50 years. And it seems to me that for a neighborhood that was expected to be temporary, Cabin John Gardens has a lot of staying power.